How you going, guys?
Are you not dressed up? You're not dressed up. We're starving. Mark.
Oops. How you going?
Good, thank you.
Just coming this way.
Happy birthday! It's very steep.
I wonder why Neil went back to get his camera. Went back to get it. Still do really well.
We'll all be gone for the summer.
That wasn't enough.
Happy to stay.
Happy birthday, Mum. Islander.
But actually,
It's an oldie, back a goodie.
5 pages.
is that a team speak?
You got numbers?
Tim, would you like to read this for me?
In 2 words.
For
You
those
don't mind being embarrassed?
For those who actually don't know why we're here today, I'll just actually explain a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Light here.
Cook in my head. Linda's birthday is actually on the 26th of December, which is Boxing Day. And invariably we've all had a good time on Christmas Day, which means that coming Boxing Day we're not actually in the best condition to celebrate Linda's birthday. So like all good wives, sometimes she actually lays a little seed in your mind, and every now and again she waters it, and she fertilises it, and you start thinking that this thing grows fairly big.
It's
and
taken a few years, hasn't it, for this to catch on? Yeah.
we've finally got to the point where, like the Queen, Linda should have an official birthday and a real birthday. So this is her official birthday.
Oh,
Now on to the 5th of July, every year on Linda's birthday, not the 4th of July.
I was actually hoping we were going to go to your joint for Boxing Day.
But it's okay because it's not my birthday anymore.
Bugger.
I mean, the other things that sort of happen on or have happened on Linda's birthday is that she's had, or she tells me anyway, she's had presents, birthday presents wrapped in Christmas wrapper. Christmas cake with candles on. She's even had Christmas cards with happy birthday. So over time it just sort of tends to dampen the And on top of this, some years ago we actually started a business venture which was pretty stressful for us at the time, and as a consequence of that we didn't actually appropriately celebrate her 40th birthday.
Had lots of cake.
You shouldn't celebrate your 40th until you look 40. I told you to say that, Chris. Yeah, sure you did.
So what we're about tonight is to try and celebrate Linda's, not only her 40th in hindsight, but also her 41st, 42nd, 43rd and a half.
What about the wedding anniversary?
Would that be when you went out with
Yeah, you took me out. I was going to stay home, you took me out.
But he didn't know.
Now that you actually know a bit about why the intention was for coming tonight, we'll sort of tell you a little bit about the journey, about how we actually came here and how we come to be here tonight. 1959 was a good year. 2 reasons. One, I was born, and the other one was Linda was born. Lots of good reasons. Jesus. Linda was born to
in the beginning.
Linda was born to her parents, David and Betty, in Penarth, South Wales. No, it's not New South Wales, it's South Wales. I first met Linda at an 18th birthday party on the
15th of November.
15, I was 16.
Yeah, time.
And never been kissed before.
And what year? So you got that bit right.
76.
75.
No, I was 16.
I'm sure Linda's
Yeah, so I'll check the records later. We'll go back and check the records later.
Might have been a time error.
Anyway, the images and that night are actually very vivid in my memory. I remember them well. Not least because I'd actually noticed Linda walking around school for quite a few weeks. I thought, oh, she's pretty good, oh, not bad. But I hadn't done anything about it at the time. And then I happened to notice on this particular night that Linda was talking to one of my mates and thought, well, that's a good opportunity, I'll nip in there. So I nipped in there, and sure enough, she was more attuned to my advances than my mates. So
What
we
did
got
you
together.
do? What did you do to him?
We fell out a bit later on. And he still bears the scars. But we are still good friends.
And his name was?
Mark Tyson.
No, it was Rob Jones.
After Linda finished school, she went and did a course called, or a course on the catering management. And in 1990, we continued to go out with each other. And in 1980, we got married. Later that year, Nigel arrived.
Nigel, up front.
I can tell you our lives changed dramatically. Not only did Nigel come along, but we also moved into our first house, which was pretty basic. We stripped it from top to bottom to start off with, and then rebuilt it.
Cost £7,000.
Yeah, and it was just like Coronation Street, the two down.
Step out the front
And
door and paint.
whilst it was pretty hard whilst we were there, Linda made it very homely and very comfortable for
Your
us.
fault,
all the
Nigel.
time. We were poor
Because just think of all the good times we've had since then.
in 1981 we moved away and we went up to North Humberside, or North Yorkshire, and
That's on the camera.
we did.
Yeah.
And it was cold.
It was
The,
very cold.
one of the things that certainly sticks in my memory is that not long after we'd been there, was we actually had ice on the inside of our windows.
Yes, yes.
Despite the fact we had central heating, we had ice on the inside.
But we didn't have double glazing, did we now?
We didn't.
We did
Couldn't afford
downstairs.
that. Couldn't afford that.
We did downstairs.
But I mean, one thing actually good about being cold was he used to cuddle up to me. Didn't he?
How cute.
Used to.
She does, but tell you what, she
get
got
too hot
she
now.
got cold feet. Yeah. Put them in the wrong spots.
They all have now.
But it's a good place for her.
Whilst we were in Hull, we were blessed with our second son, called Nicholas, and he was born on the 23rd of March in 1983. Despite the cold, we enjoyed our time living there, and we met some very good friends, Karen and Paul, and Kath and Jim. I'll tell you a little bit of story about Kath and Jim. Yeah,
never
well,
met
I actually met them. Well, I met them in the UK. I met them. You remember them?
No, I
Who's
didn't
telling the
meet
story?
them. I remember. I
Correct.
I actually met Jim. Well, Kath and Jim. Well, obviously I'm not able to be with us tonight, but Jim was selling his house, and he was actually migrating to Australia. And at the time, I met Jim in a pub in Caingham. What was the pub on the corner called?
The Blue Bell.
Blue Bell.
Bluebell, yeah, in the Bluebell.
Or the ship.
No, it was in the Bluebell. It was in the Bluebell. And my mate was buying his house, and I thought to myself, what the hell is this guy migrating to Australia for? Now, some years later, after a conversation with Karen and Paul in their kitchen, all of a sudden the penny had dropped with us, and well, we thought, yeah, that's a pretty good place to go. So we followed her footsteps, and I mean, whilst you're not here, I mean, certainly Jim met us at 3 a.m. in the morning at Perth Airport, and they certainly helped us.
So you
and
were
made our.
boat people. You
You couldn't keep us.
I was.
We wonder where all them fishing stories came from.
I got here for £10 and a month's cruise.
She's still
on a
floating
great
a bit
ship.
in mid-visit.
Sorry.
You're all right. You're all right. You'll experience this in a minute as well, Julie. There's people
Yeah,
who
the
are
same
up to all
operation
the
as Jackson.
time. In September the 26th or 27th.
I don't know what you're asking.
Telepathy.
We arrived on the 27th.
There you are. See, that's what I was thinking. September the 27th in 1987 we arrived in Australia, and like I mentioned, we were met by Kath and Jim, and they certainly helped us greatly in our first traumatic experience of arriving in Australia. Not because it was traumatic here, but just the whole concept of coming here.
It was cold.
One of the things that actually happens is certainly there's like a camaraderie that builds up between people who have migrated, and that's not trying to detract from anything about the friends that we've got now, but the fact that,
That's Mary.
Mary's nodding, I can see that. It is. I mean, the fact that you all go through the same experience, it is pretty special. It is a great place to live. I can tell you now. People who have lived here all their lives, you probably don't know how lucky you are.
Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy!
We went to England and we loved it over there.
No. For a week.
Didn't have to stay there.
We thought it was wonderful over there. We thought we want to live there. We loved it, didn't we?
After so much to never going back again.
You knew you were getting
It's
out.
alright for a weekend.
In 1986, I went away for 6 weeks, and when I came back, Linda told me she was pregnant.
Oh.
Which was a bit of a surprise to me.
1986.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
1996, sorry. 1989. Should be my
Is there another son?
His name's Tyrone, and he's here tonight. It's Jerry Springer!
January the 6th in 1990, something happened.
January the 5th.
Hey, he's an ideas man, leave him alone.
By that time we had the set.
You forgot when we met the Chamberlains and... Just
No,
sorry,
I'm
Vincent.
good of that. Give me a break.
Great.
It's my birthday, don't speak to me one day.
She's been waiting for 3 years for this speech, nearly. 2.5.
How much battery power you got left, mate?
Keep on talking, dude.
Our life has been a bit of a journey, like everyone's life is a bit of a journey. I've told you a little bit of our journey tonight. What I haven't said yet is without Linda being there, most of this wouldn't have happened, because she's provided the focus and certainly the drive, keep me on track to make sure that when the things needed to happen, then they did. And she's very good at it.
There he is.
It's a good boy. You can't do without you. Ever.
Thanks, Karen.
One of the things actually, Linda has a great deal of skills that she doesn't actually appreciate or know that she's got. And certainly the
You
people
don't want to know
she's-
that, hasn't he?
This is going into a daytime show.
This is being recorded, mate.
Daytime show.
where she's actually starting to develop those skills, and actually people are starting to appreciate them, is within the job that she's doing now. She is doing a magnificent job at school. She's starting to grow as a person, and the people who become involved with her and know her will grow as a consequence of actually knowing her.
That's pretty good. Very good.
I'll tell you what, you can all know.
Yeah, what are you
Talk
after?
about
We're going away I'd certainly like to thank everyone for coming here tonight, and in particular Janine for helping me organise this with all those
Pretty sneaky.
furtive phone calls and meetings that we've had, to make it all happen. And everyone else, Mary for sorting out all the bread rolls, and everyone for just being here.
Done a
That
bit.
was
That was hard work.
Our children have enjoyed the benefit of actually having Linda as their mother.
Thank God for that.
True.
That's a good.
Yes, they would.
Being breastfed,
I've certainly enjoyed the benefit of having Linda as my girlfriend, my wife, and also my companion. And I look forward to actually having many more journeys with her in the future.
Many more years.
It's not finished yet.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, is it?
Come on, Jenny, come on. You can-
No, do it. You finish.
See, there's a card, or just a card, and a present from me. And that's from Laura.
I got mine's from
You're right,
You
chicken.
never write that,
Oh, you've got it wrong so many times.
When were you born? Did you get it right?
Get it right.
So you wore the right necklace.
I wore the right necklace. Oh, guess what's in this?
Pearl necklace.
Keeps getting smaller, the box.
It's little.
I actually ran that.
Oh, did you do it, Laura? No, the shop did it.
You went like.
No.
You don't know what's in it, Laura.
So this is a new.
No, I wrap my own present.
You don't know what's in this one.
Yeah, Laura's pretty clever. She wraps it. She
Man,
actually
I
wraps it. She
I
wraps it
wrap
like
each
Christmas
Christmas
presents.
present.
She does.
Just first time of the year.
Neil goes to shopping.
It's like 2 weeks to do
She got a Porsche.
It all worked with age. We've got our tins. Just near one.
I think Neil wants a Porsche.
Okay, we'll change that. What would you like me to do? Lovely. Yes, very nice.
Oh, what's a pearl
You suck.
Very nice.
Got me
Okay.
pearl earrings.
I think it deserves a kiss for that one.
Well, I'm 50 and I haven't got anything.
Another 50 years.
Another 50 years. You are generous, Ray, to a fault, buddy.
What a man. Does this mean you get more stuff?
Want to say something else as well?
Oh, you
You can't do any worse than that.
Very good.
I've already bought the book.
No, it's much thicker than that. Have you seen the size of the new one?
Something to take away with you.
What is it?
Make sure you put it in your bag, not in your hands.
You just had the cotton off, thank you.
Very good.
I go.
It's my secret now.
Oh, no.
Alright, just
Go
slow.
tall. Well done, Neil.
This isn't going to be as long, and it's...
Yours is longer.
This is a book.
Well, it's mostly pictures, because I don't read, I look at pictures. Don't you read as well? Can't read over your shoulder. It's just over 15 years ago when I first met Linda. Neil and Linda hadn't been in Australia all that long when Chris and Neil teamed up together at work. We were living in Yanjiba and were invited to dinner at their house. I was 8 months pregnant with Erin, and we had 2 young boys. Scott was 4 and Todd was 3. We had to travel all the way to Fruin Court, Warnborough, wherever that was, in our combi van, which seemed to take forever. On arrival, we were met by Nigel, who was 8, and Nicholas was 5. The 4 boys seemed to get on very well. Just as the males in our lives hit it off, so did Linda and I. We had a great night, and it was the beginning of what is now a wonderful friendship. When we shifted to Kalgoorlie, the Chamberlains often made the trip up to stay with us. or meters of escorts.
Very nice.
By this time, they had a little ray of sunshine in their family, Laura. Laura and Erin also seemed to team up pretty well. We had all that was needed to embark on our Aussie adventures, and so began the Chamberlain Aussie trips. The first one was from Kalgoorlie through Central Australia, up the Gunbarrel Highway to
No,
Ayers
it
Rock,
wasn't.
and back to Kalgoorlie. This is the adventure, not the weekender. Via Adelaide.
We went to Moorooka as a first.
So that was before Laura though.
We'd been on the road for an hour and a half when Neil wanted to stop and take photos of Menzies and wanted a cuppa to share with, and Linda wanted a cuppa to share with her homemade cakes and slices, which were always worth a stop. Our first stop for the night was at Cosmo Newbury, and that's pretty much in the centre of nowhere. Very peaceful, you could hear a pin drop. Very cold, a beautiful clear night. What serenity. We put out our fire and off to bed. The night was pitch black once the fire was out. Next minute, Neil somehow set off the fire alarm in their camper. Linda's yelling, Neil!
Can't see anything and they're like going beep, beep, beep.
And as we had no power, he was making such a commotion trying to find the torch. The kids woke up not knowing what's going on, and Chris and I just roared laughing. No more serenity, and that was day one. I wouldn't say Linda is a quitter, but by day 2 of a 3-week adventure, she wanted to go home. They had a couple of minor car problems, and Linda forgot to plug up the sink in the camper, and red dirt got in. Meanwhile, the back of our trailer fell open. We'd lost all our food, cooking gear, and some of our camping items,
Sponges.
including 3 of the 4 legs of my new outdoor table. Linda thought was hilarious. I was devastated when you told her. But in the true Lindy Lou style, she was able to feed all 10 of us for 2 days with her supplies, help clean up my mess, and there was always a cuppa ready. By the time we arrived at Ayers Rock, everyone was well and truly ready for a hot shower. Try checking in at the caravan park as Lindy Chamberlain. I thought that was hilarious, especially when a lady camped next to us yelled, "Dingo's got my badge."
True story.
Not only did the dingoes want to stay with us, but Mr. Wallaby wanted to be our friend at Alice Springs.
Mr. Wallaby.
This was truly an Aussie outback adventure. You would think Linda had a bit of dingo in her, the way she clambered up Ayers Rock, traversed Kings Canyon, and fossicked through Cooper Pedy. Although she wasn't keen to show us her skill at snow skiing while we were in Adelaide. For our next big adventure, we tackled the coastline and drove to Exmouth, which is one of Linda's favourite spots. That was relatively free of incidents, although when the boys caught a couple of baby reef sharks and they had Chris on the run in knee-deep water, Linda was a helpful self and filmed the ordeal while
8 foot long it was actually.
Then there was the cyclone which got us, and we had to pack up all and head for safer accommodation. Except Neil wanted to stay outside and film it as usual. He never runs out of film. It didn't seem to matter what kind of problem was thrown in our way. With the help of a cuppa or champagne, we would have organised chaos in no time. Anyway, we learnt from Neil and Chris, when all else fails, sit down, open a bottle, and the rest will just happen. Chamberlain's next adventure was to run their own cake it away shop. With the hectic schedule of cake it away, it was pretty hard to keep the visits happening. Although when we did get together, there was always plenty of cake to have, followed by lots of drinks and a real favourite, a bonfire. Linda has the knack of making people feel at home. Nothing seems to be too much trouble. She's a great organiser, hates mess, enjoys walking along the beach, and give her a good book and she can't put it down. She has a great love of champagne and a good bottle of red, never seems to go astray, as well as a white for that matter.
She's a piss pot.
The visits to the nest are becoming more regular. Is it the accommodation, or the vineyards, or maybe it's Simo's?
Oh, I'm not a great singer.
I am.
Laura.
Linda seems to know something about everything, and is always willing to lend a hand or give some advice, whether it be cake decorating, cooking tips. She knows heaps about cheese, wine, and especially Australian flora and fauna. And that can be embarrassing when a new Aussie tells a dinky dye what sort of Aussie bird or native plant. Linda, you've raised, with a bit of help from Neil, a lovely, caring and very tall family. You've settled into the Aussie lifestyle
Should have
world,
stopped feeding them, shouldn't we?
and us the Chelwells enjoy you and your family's company very much. I'm sure your next adventure isn't too far away. I know this was done before you were going, wasn't it, Lana? And I hope that we can be a part of that adventure too.
You can come.
We love you.
No, she's got to look after Laura.
We love you dearly. You're one of those special friends. Thanks for being everyone's mate, and we wish you a fabulous night. And everyone's put a bit of a thing in here tonight. So.
Just duck next time.
Well, it goes up in the No, I don't think I've got much. We can't reach it. I think you've got much.
We know an electrician who can help.
Yeah.
We might bring a few
bought extra
tiles.
Cameraman's job.
Yeah.
Pick up the one in the front.
Come on, Linda, organising. Linda, sort about it.
You're your father's son.
I'm super valued.
Organises.
Super value.
Yeah.
There we go, super value in that area.
Who's that?
Should we sing happy birthday?
Yeah.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray!
Canine.
The cake says happy 40th, happy 41st, happy 42nd, and happy 43rd and a half.
Very good.
Right done, now we can,
Now, Linda's going to say something. Come on, go say something.
Yeah.
I've had weeks to prepare.
That's not very fair, is it?
So it won't take you more than 2 seconds.
No.
Yeah, just, yeah. You put Neil to shame.
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Wait, don't do anything yet.
It's quick.
That's for you.
Oh,
And you so you can. Come on,
get in front, Laura, that's it. Your
there we
baby.
go.
Hey, I'd just like to say thank you so much to everybody, and especially to Neil for organising it for you. It's very special. And very tricky.
We're away for 6 months.
Thank everybody for
Go
coming.
pop it
And
up. Piggy up.
hang on.
Chrissy's going to have enough.
Turn it on. You got to turn it on.
all right now.
Now you got to press the button.
Where's the button?